This is my review of the Flowthane Free Killers from Cuei, and frankly this is the most disappointing product I have ever skated. First and foremost, these wheels have miserable chatter in the slide. This chatter of course comes out as a sound. It's really screaming loud when you slide these wheels. It's actually embarrassing in public spaces to slide these. Not only that, but it also sends very sharp vibrations through your trucks, through your deck, into your feet, into your body. And what that does is it results in a very numb slide feel. It makes it hard to feel how your wheels are interacting with the road. And that's a vital part of being a longboarder. Understanding when you're at the limit of traction, or when you've exceeded the limit of traction, or when you're not even close to the limit of traction, is part of the art of skating really well. Skating at a high level, at high speeds, on difficult terrain. When your wheel denies you the ability to get that feedback, it is not confidence inspiring. It is terrible to be flying down a hill and not know what to expect from a wheel, and also have no way of probing it. If you don't have any way of, kind of testing that without fully committing to the slide, I just don't know how you can progress on a product like that. So the release into the slide is very abrupt. That's largely because of the chatter. Additionally, they have very little braking force. So this combination, it necessitates a really aggressive initiation to the slide, but a really mild lean. So you're gonna find yourself, if you wanna ride these properly, is kicking out the board really hard, but not leaning off it very much. Usually a wheel that requires a hard kick out, a lot of force, also means that you're gonna be leaning back on your setup to counteract the braking force you're gonna get from this wheel. Well, this does not do that. You're gonna be standing pretty on top of your board while you slide this, but the kick out is gonna give you the false sense that you need to lean. And that made doing heel side slides on these wheels, stand-up heel sides, so unpredictable. I couldn't do stand-up heels on these wheels for a very long time, and I continue to struggle with them because of the nature of pre-carving. Pre-carving is the best strategy for learning kind of the limit of traction of your wheels and for giving you the most predictable stand-up slides. Pre-carving hard gives you a sense for when the wheels are about to break traction, and it also sets up your body to lean off of your board before you go to initiate the slide. If you do that on this wheels, the pre-carve that you're gonna get, you're going to low side. You're gonna kind of slip out and the board's gonna shoot in front of you on a heel side slide. That's because the pre-carve is gonna set your body weight up way too far back compared to what the wheels actually want. Riders with a very aggressive style that do very little pre-carving and really hard kickouts are going to do the best on this wheel. I'm not saying that if you have an aggressive style, you should buy this wheel. I'm just saying that the riders with that style are going to hop on this and more quickly experience success. Now, funnily enough, the huge contact patch, the medium 73mm diameter, and the huge bevels mean that this wheel is the single best wheel I've ever skated on terrible, not ideal surfaces. We're talking about brick. We're talking about road that has been chewed up for an asphalt change. Just the most terrible potholes, gravel, cracks, anything. This wheel slides through them with a very alarming amount of consistency. And that's probably one of the few compliments I'm going to give this wheel, is that it eats up chunder like nothing else. It's not too tall, so you don't get a tippy feeling when you're hitting cracks and bumps. And the huge bevel means that there's no lip that's going to catch on the shitty pavement or shitty surface. I can't even assume it's going to be pavement, because again, I slid these on bricks and was very surprised by how good they were. This wheel also does not chunk, it does not tear, it does not rip. And there's never been a surface, no matter how bad, that gave me the indication that these wheels could take any sort of damage besides normal wear on the contact patch. That doesn't mean that they are flat spot resistant though. If you manage to get these wheels up to temperature, they will start to wear down very quickly. Now there's a couple ways to do that, either skating on a really hot day, doing really long slides, or really long runs that are steep and necessitate a lot of sliding down the hill. These are ways to get this wheel up to the temperature that it's going to start leaving urethane on the ground behind you. For general riding, general temperatures, most sliding, most hills, these are not going to leave very big lines on the ground. You're not going to get that accelerated wear that you'd see in a Thaney wheel like a Morgan. But the most effective way to quickly heat up a wheel is by flat spotting it, is by sliding it on one patch of the wheel for a sustained amount of time. That shit gets hot, that urethane flies away, and these are pretty easy to flat spot as a result. So that's a little bit of a bummer, is that they're going to be relatively durable in most scenarios unless you hit 90 on them for a sustained period of time. Then that flat spot's going to form very quickly. Another good thing I can say about these wheels is that they have great roll speed and acceleration when they are new. That's something I think of all of the Cuei killer wheels. I think they have great roll speed. I love their size, I love their width. I think that they're one of the best wheels for just kind of general pushing around. Not long distance push, but for navigating rough surfaces, bad terrain, kind of urban city spaces where you're pushing a lot, but also need something that is not too heavy as it takes a lot of energy to start and stop. I think the killers absolutely exceed in that environment. Unfortunately, as you wear down the wheel a few millimeters, you're going to lose a lot of that speed pretty quickly. That's something that disappointed me about these wheels, is that after wearing them a few millimeters, this wide contact patch gets exposed, and then you seem to lose speed to the ground like crazy. Your friction just goes up a ton and they just don't accelerate or hold speed like they used to. It's a big bummer because this was one of the only great things I could say about this wheel, and after wearing them down a decent amount, I can't say it anymore. Now, some friends have told me that these wheels are pretty comparable in braking force to the purple Kevin Reimer Pro wheels, the 72mm sharp-lipped wheels. I would say that's a pretty apt comparison. That's pretty accurate. There are some surfaces where this wheel will kind of mate with the pavement a little bit more and slow you down faster. I think the purple Kevin Reimers are more versatile, absolutely. They're going to slide better over a much wider variety of surfaces. But there are some pavements where these stick a lot more and then are much comparable to the green Kevin Reimers in the braking force. Now, I thought the LDP Alphas and the black 75mm Kevin Reimer race wheels would be pretty good comparison for these. I say those two products simply because they were things that I owned that were already in my collection. They're already very broken in. They were products that I had done free ride on before, fast free ride, even a little bit of slower free ride. And they just have way more grip than these wheels. I guess because that these wheels are kind of race derived, these are derived from the Killers race wheels. So are the LDP Alphas, they're derived from the Alpha race wheels. And then the black Kevin Reimer race wheels, they are discontinued, by the way. If you're confused about a product that you didn't know existed, they've been discontinued for a little while now. Those race wheels turn into free ride wheels once you get past the skin and lips. So I can include them in that generalization. Those wheels have a lot more braking force, but they are so much more predictable. And even though my slides are going to be significantly shorter on those wheels, they're going to stop me faster, I would much rather free ride those than these, simply because those offer me the feedback. They allow me to pre-carve and kind of set up my slide to feel it out way better than this product ever could. And also, they slid smooth. With the same exact bearings in those wheels, I got such improved slides, so much better quality, that was an important thing for me to test so I could rule out that the bearings weren't the cause of chatter. Putting them in other large wheels like that with significant grip was kind of the final straw to know that the chatter on these is really a result of the wheel itself, not any gear that I had, and therefore could not be forgiven. So I find it pretty sad that this is my conclusion. I really love Cuei as a company. They're a company that I want to succeed. I love the riders that they support. I love their 75A Cuei Killers. I think that is an incredible race wheel and is really suitable for most of the riding that I do. I wish that this wheel was as much of a slam dunk. I wish that this was just as good. And frankly, it's a bummer because I understand. This was a cheap development option. It was easy to make this product because of all of the R&D that already went into finding urethane formulas for the killer products. That developing this beveled kind of big freeride wheel was super easy to do. Unfortunately, whatever combination of features they came up with, core, profile, lips, everything, was just a swing and a miss, and this is a really nonsensical product. I can't think of a situation where I would recommend these to somebody instead of something else. Of course, the Powell wheels are easy recommendations. There's a lot of options in the Seismic lineup that are going to give you similar performance, but much better control, much better predictability. So yeah, unfortunately, these can't get my positive review. Now, this is where I open the floor to you. If you have a good experience on these wheels, if you have a bad experience on these wheels, if you think you kind of have a neutral opinion of them and you want to share it, let me know down in the comments. Let this community be a place where we can share ideas about products so that people like you, our neighbors, our friends, can find the products they want on their first try. It sucks to buy a product and for it to not work for you. So, let me know if this product worked for you. If it did work for you, tell us about the setup, tell us about the hills, tell us about the speeds that you tried it at. Because maybe there was something about my boards, my hills, the speeds that I tried things at, that just meant that this didn't work for me. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I appreciate you very much.